All right, welcome to the first episode of Photoshop Party after Imaging USA, and hope everybody had a good time that went there. It was definitely interesting, to say the least. A lot of fun, a lot of music, and a lot more fun. So we are back in live. Let's go ahead and get down to business. First things first, let's share my screen, and we'll go to my desktop. There we go, and I'll give Dwight a break and take that off. And hopefully you can see the advertisement that we have on there, sponsored by West Coast School. And if you haven't signed up yet, you need to sign up right away because some of the classes are getting kind of full. I know Shannon and Sandra are definitely getting up there. So you want to make sure that you have a chance to get in their class if you want to. If you don't want to, there's a great instructor on Photoshop named Michael Collins who'd be happy to help you for a whole week of Photoshop. So,
I
and
think today is the last day for the scholarship. I think
today is
That is correct.
If you have not signed up for your scholarship yet, as of what, 5 o'clock this afternoon Pacific time?
That is correct.
Okay. So if you haven't done it yet, do it right away, right after this program. Don't do it during the program. You got to pay attention because it's going to be complicated. And so we're back in live, go from there. And today we're talking about head swaps. We're going to do a couple of really simple ones to get going. And then we'll do a little bit more complex one. Where did my...
Good job.
I'm trying to find my images from, they disappeared on me. Okay. Let me go hunt down a couple of images really quick because I put them in a folder and they ain't there. Head swap. There we go. Let's start with this one. And this one, you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm working in Bridge right now. Open, 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 open. And if I zoom in, you can see that this guy was nice enough to close his eyes during the picture so I could have a image to work with. And then in this one, he has his eyes open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it really simple. I'm going to use my lasso tool and just lasso around his head. And I can either do Command C to copy, Command J to bring it up on its own layer, or take the move tool, drag it up, drag it over on top, and it should fit very easily. Actually, it worked out really quick, easily. So what I normally do is on my layer mode, I'll go from normal down to difference. And the closer I get with everything locked in, it should turn to black. So that's like almost right on the money. Then I'll go back into normal mode. And if you don't want to use difference, what you could do is drop your opacity down on the layer with this head and just lock him in as well. The only thing I want to do is I want to get his eyes as close as possible. So let me drop the opacity down a whole lot more. And the eyes are the important part. So we'll go to move tool, V for move, eyes are on the money. And then bring the opacity all the way back up again. And all I have to do is put on a layer mask. And I'm going to change it from the white mask. I'm going to hit Command or Control I to invert it to black. And you can see that his eyes are closed again. I'm going to hit X to bring up white, my white color. And I'm going to go B for brush. There it is. It finally went on. And you can see the problem I have is I'm using a super hard edge brush. It says 100% hardness. I don't want that. I want a super soft brush. And that is bizarre.
Yeah, really.
Can you see how big my brush is showing on there?
Mhm.
But the actual size is teeny tiny.
Ah,
That is not normal,
yeah.
to say the least.
Photoshop does that sometimes.
Why don't you
No.
try reset the tool and see if that'll help?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Anthony. How are you?
Fine, my medical Zoom went a little longer than normal.
That's okay. We missed you. Okay, I'm going to do something I don't like to do. I'm going to go Command Q. Don't save. Come on. Come on. And for those that don't know what Command Q is quitting Photoshop.
Quit.
And you can see what it's doing right now.
Nothing.
There we go. Cool. And let's try that again. Open those two up again. Open Photoshop. In the meantime, Anthony, because you were late, you're going to have to sing for us while we wait for Photoshop to open. So
Okay.
hit it.
New York, New York.
Okay, that's plenty.
fly
I don't want
me
to drive
to the
everybody away.
moon.
I'm gonna mute him. It's gonna break my screen.
I
I've
got
been known to get
earphones on.
I've been known to get scores of 69 on my print, so I'm right there with you.
Well, your singing score is gonna be less than that.
Shut up, Mel.
Okay, let's try this again. Let's take our lasso tool. L for lasso. Come
You're
on.
not online. You're not showing us anything.
Well, that's because I logged out and logged back in on it. So let me find my Zoom.
And I have a question.
I have an answer.
I was told one time that when you did that lasso thing, when you hold shift down, when you bring it in, it comes almost exactly where you want it. Is that true, or is that something?
I will find out real quick for you.
I think it was shift. If you held shift down.
Okay. If you hold shift when you move stuff, it goes to the middle. So let's try that.
I don't know. Okay, let's see.
Okay. And we are
Yeah, gotta get the other.
sharing, right?
Right.
Everything
yes,
is good? All
Mhm.
right. So I'm in the lasso tool, lasso is head and shoulders. And I'm going to hold the shift key down while I go. No,
No?
let's go to move, V for move tool.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold the shift key down.
Yeah.
And it put almost the same place.
So it does. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just wondering whether it was still like that. It was originally it used to do that.
Okay. So I'm going to lower the opacity down so I can see his eyes underneath. And what I want to do, use the move tool. And get them close. And then now that everything's perfect, I'm going to go back into my layer mask. Going to change the layer mask to black again. So I'm going to hit Command I, Control I on a PC. And that did exactly the opposite of what I wanted, but that's okay. I should have practiced this 20 more times. Now my brush looks like it's going to work, so. Yeah, brush is working. It's going a little tighter so I can see what I'm doing now.
Are you at 100% of the brush, or are you just kind of feathering?
The brush is 100%, but the hardness is at 0. So I got very soft edge brush. You know what it's doing?
Oh,
Okay. They came in backwards this time.
yeah. I thought so.
Okay, let's deselect that. Let's go ahead and go back to open on this critter.
Good thing I came in late.
Yeah, no kidding. You didn't miss anything. So I'm just going to take his head, use the move tool, V for move, drag him over, drag him on top of this face, and I'm going to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing real close. And I'm going to drag his head back up where it should be. And again, what we could do is go to difference. And when it's difference, what it does when it's black, it's perfectly lined up. When it's not black, you can see what's not working.
Whoa, how'd you find that?
It's
Oh,
under
no.
layers, under the layers,
Yeah,
your layer mode, is you
Yeah.
go to difference.
oh,
So take the move tool. That's pretty close there. And I'll go back to normal. And then here, I'll just go ahead and brush out the rest of what I don't want. So B for brush. The brush appears to be working. Add a little smile in there. Close everything off. Now I'm just going to go in and make my brush smaller, X, to bring back the eyes. And it looks like everything is
Oh,
pretty much there.
yeah, yeah.
So what I could have done is, instead of circling the whole head, is just circle the eyes and drop the eyes in there, because that's all I needed to fix.
Yeah, but I don't know about that because your face changes when your eyes are open, when your eyes are closed.
That's
Yeah.
true. But this one works, so I'm happy. Any questions on that one to start with? Other than, holy cow, what were you thinking, Mike? Don't save. Command W, don't save. And let's go into my wonderful grandson and his X. Open both of those. And you can see which one that I want to keep. I like this pose, but I want to get rid of that face. So again, we'll just lasso the face. Take the move tool, V for move, drag him up, drag him over. And you can see that the head size, that's not too much difference, a little bit of difference on the head size, but the tilt is a little bit off. So we'll just zoom in a little bit to see what we're working with. Go to difference. Get it close, back to normal, and then drop the opacity down on the top one. And so what we have is a little bit off. And I'm going to have to do a free transform and a slight tilt to match everything up. And it's still not light up easily like it should, but yeah, that's a lot closer now. So what I'll do is take my masking tool, B for brush, make sure the brush is working. And when I started to paint, nothing happened. Why did nothing happen? Because I'm painting white on the mask, which is white. So I need to go back to black to paint in. And again, using a soft edge brush, so things just kind of blend in a little bit. And the cool thing about having this background behind them, you can leave a whole lot there and not have to worry about it.
Now you just hit the key V,
V is the move tool,
yeah,
and then B for brush.
and then, well, you change it to, from white to black.
I hit X to exchange the colors.
Gotcha.
And that works the fast. You can go over and on the colors right here on the left-hand side, there's this teeny tiny arrow, up and down arrow.
Yeah, that'll go back and forth, yeah.
You can go back and forth. But how long does it take you to go from over here, lock onto that little target there versus hitting the X key?
Gotcha.
So that's how fast you can do head swaps. I mean, just that easy. Now comes a little bit tougher one. And let me go ahead and go to that one. Now, while we're doing that, I got to talk to my idol, Julianne Cost at Imaging USA. Sat with her for almost 4 hours of class time. So life is wonderful. I learned a whole bunch.
You took a class from her, not just visited?
I took a class from her. I
Cool.
took a couple classes. Okay, we got that one. And we got that one. Let me open these up real quick and I'll tell you what the client wanted. And you see I'm opening them camera raw or raw files. And what the client wanted was Santa's head is looking away from the girl. Santa's head is looking at the girl. So you know what the client wants. So I'm going to select both of them in camera raw. And hopefully it will open. When you go open, 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 open. I said open. Thank you. So what I need to do is I need to drag Santa's head over to this, or drag Santa's head from this one over to this one. The fastest way to do that is hit the move tool and just drag the whole image up there, hold the shift key down, and that's when it should match up. But the person that shot this shot it at different sizes. So you can see that the angle's different and the size is different. So what I'm gonna have to do is select both layers. So I click on layer one, hold the shift key down, click on background, go to edit, auto align layers. And the fastest way to do this, the easiest way to do this is just hit auto, let Photoshop do the work. So,
Huh.
and here, if everything worked right, it got it a whole lot closer. So what I'm going to do is take Santa's head from here and put him on the other one. I'm going to try one trick really quick because I haven't done this yet. So that's the one I want to get rid of. So let me try a layer mask and just brush his head off. Let's see what happens. And you can see that it's off. So that's not going to work. So what I'll do is drag him down below. And probably the easiest way is do the same thing again. Just take lasso. I know what I want. I just want Santa's head. Put him up on his own layer, Command J. And it helps if you're on the right layer when you do the lasso. Drag it down, go to layer 0. Now we'll do the lasso. And I don't really want the yarn or the fabric that's in there in this picture as well. So we'll do a Command J, minimize that, and then zoom in so I can see really well what I'm doing. V for move. If I can match up that book fairly close. And then we'll just go ahead and mask off with the soft edge brush. B for brush, soft edge.
You don't have black on your,
No, I'm masking, trying to
Oh,
mask on
masking
the
over.
wrong area.
okay.
And then just paint back what I don't want to get rid of. And in fact, what I'm going to do is go back a couple steps. I'm going to get a bigger slice ahead instead of that one. Let's go to lasso. We'll just take a whole bunch this time. Command J. Now we can do that. Mask it. You can kind of cheat a little bit on things that you want and don't want. A bit smaller brush up here on the left. And I'm going to have to do some clone stamping, it looks like right there, to get rid of the So let's go ahead and I'll make a new layer, new blank layer. When I use the clone stamp, S for clone stamp, I go up to the top on the toolbar and it says current layer, current and below, or all layers. And I can do either all layers or current and below because I'm at the top. So I'll just leave it at current and below and make a bigger clone stamp brush so I can find it. Hold the Option or Alt key to select an area and just kind of go in a little bit. And I'm going to clean it up a little bit more when I'm closer, but I just want to get the raw image in there. And go to healing brush and just kind of get those areas down a little. And then this area over here needs to be worked on a little bit. B for brush. A little bit of cleanup there. And now you have Santa looking at the little girl. Had the photographer not moved, it would have been a 30-second project versus a couple of minutes. Probably the hardest part to doing head swaps would be to figure out which direction you're going to go and then go with it. This one was a bit of a challenge for me to figure it out. Wanted to make sure that I had the edge of the chair in there. All the edges on the wood trim had to remain the same. But not too difficult by itself. It's just a matter of pre-planning things and knowing, okay, clone stamp this or brush this in and go from there. So any questions on that one? Any questions at all?
Would you straighten the door?
Actually, the whole thing could be straightened. So let's do, I'm gonna go Command Option Shift E, Control Alt Shift E, basically what they call the claw. And I'm gonna make the whole layer, take everything down below and make it into one layer on top. I'm gonna go to my Camera Raw filter. So you go Filter down to Camera Raw and close out Basic, go to Geometry, click on A. How's that? A
Looks
little better?
Better.
Yeah.
Fastest way to do that.
You gotta be kidding me.
You learn all that stuff in Photoshop at West Coast School. So you have before and after in one click. You could do Command T or a free transform, go in and start bringing in sides, tweaking and going crazy with it. Let Photoshop do the work for you.
So you did command, what was all those steps you did? Command.
Okay, what I did, let's go back a step, history, stamp visible. And what I did was I went into Camera Raw. After I did, okay, from here, I wanted to make a layer from everything. So what I did was Shift Option Command, Shift Alt Control E, or you can go up to the drop down and merge visible. So I just did Shift Option. I'm just keyboard shortcutting to save time. And that brings up a whole new copy above everything. Or it should have. Did a merge visible. Why did it do that? There we go. Yeah, that worked.
So when you merge visible, you lose all the layers in between.
They were supposed to stay, and I don't know why that's not doing that.
Mike, is it doing that because it's not a blank layer that you have on top? Because that's the layer you did some retouching on.
Okay, I did retouching on that. Yeah. So if I
Right, so
click
put a
on that
blank-
layer, it should take everything from that layer and down. So Shift Option Command E should, there it goes. My computer does not want to play today.
Hey,
It was-
Michael.
Yes.
it's Dan. When you do it by the right click, it's a merge visible, and when you do it by the keyboard, it's a stamp visible.
Okay, you're right. I thought there was a drop down there, but there's not. There used to be way back when.
Yeah, there used to be.
Okay. I haven't looked there for so long because I just used the keyboard shortcut. So Shift, Option or Alt, Command or Control, E like in Edward. And that, or E like in everything, will get you the whole thing down.
So it just compresses everything, but you still have all the files there though, right?
If I turned off that top layer that I just did a stamp on,
Right.
I still have all these layers down below
Hey,
that I could adjust and play with. And
Oh, cool. Okay.
another thing is when you're in the history panel, normally when you turn a layer on and off, it starts using up your history states. And oh, it's in history. When you're in the history mode, you can click on the drop down over here on the right, go to history options, and it says make layer visibility changes undoable. So when you do that, every time you change your visibility by turning that layer on and off, it's going to eat history state. And when you unclick that, I can turn the history states on and off 30, 40 times, and it's not going to show up in my history.
Hmm.
So let me do that real quick. We'll turn it back on again, make them undoable. And you can see right now, my last one is stamp visible on the right-hand side. Let's go to layers, and we'll turn this bad boy on and off a couple of times. Go to history, and you see layer visibility. So that's eating up my history state. And if you have it set low, like I do, to not eat up a lot of memory, then your history will be gone shortly. So let me fix that again. Turn it off. Perfect. Now we have that. That's turned on. Command Option Shift E, stamp visible. And then we'll go to filter, camera raw filter, or I do Command Shift A. That's the fastest way in to do that, into the filter. Hit OK. Now our door is fixed, along with all the other stuff that's crooked. It did leave some edges around there, but that's okay. We'll just crop around it when we need to. So any questions on that? Going
I was
once.
writing notes. I didn't see that last part where you hit the key and it straightened everything else. Where'd you do that again?
Oh, yeah.
Just the pull down. There.
Okay, I'm at stamp visible. So I'll go to
Yeah.
filter, camera
Yeah.
raw filter.
Got that.
Camera raw filter, you go to geometry
Geometry.
and then hit A for automatic.
Gotcha.
Pitching, done. Just that easy.
How do you fill in the excess that's missing?
Either crop around it, or what I would do is take my magic wand tool. So the shortcut for that, well, let me finish this real quick. We go to magic wand, which is W if you want to do keyboard shortcut for it. And I would select that area, and I would do what would be equivalent of fill, content aware fill. I have a keyboard shortcut for that. I hit F3. And what that does, it fills automatically for me and then deselects. So it's kind of a content aware fill. In the upper right corner, I'd probably just use my healing brush tool, make it a little bit larger. Go over that. Close enough. And over here, I'd do the same thing with the magic wand. Hit F3, and that's not going to work as good because it cut off the letters over there. So we'll do that again, only this time we'll do edit, content aware fill. And this will tell you where you want to fill it from. So what I will do is turn off this area. And we'll see if it does it or not. The stuff that is green right there is the stuff that it wants to fill from. So I'm trying to make it fill from the right-hand side, and it only took a little bit from there. So let me try. Color adaptation high. Let's see if it'll take it. No. Sometimes if you change your color adaptation, it'll do it for you, but this one didn't do it. So that's probably clone stamp the rest across there.
I think I would have copied that part and just laid it over there so it merged together.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to do it, is just clone it over or copy and paste it over.
They copy and paste because it's a nice straight line.
Yeah, well, so is clone
It would
stamping.
probably
So
be easy.
hit S for stamp. What I'll do is I'll start back here, so there won't be any pattern. Select, Start there. And the bad thing is you're dealing with the alphabet there. So if somebody's looking really close, they're going to see that. And then this guy here would just take him out so he doesn't make a scene. J for the healing brush. There we go. Get rid of that little shadow there. So it adds it in. Just you got to think of different ways to get around outsmarting Photoshop. Photoshop outsmarts me most of the time, though.
I would think one simple solution would be to use a tripod.
Well, yeah. Let me stop recording before I make any remarks.